I came across this clip last night from the late great Bernie Mac. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think Bernie Mac would have been allowed to survive doing his craft of comedy. And he was one of the kings of comedy. Quite literally, he was with a troupe of Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey. I'm not so sure that the Mac Man would have been around in 2026, at least professionally, because I want to show you a clip that I just find hilarious. This is from the Bernie Mac show, and he is trying to teach Jordan how to be a man, and he's worried that Jordan is not interested in girls. Take a look at this. It's hilarious.
Oh, Lord, he doesn't have a girlfriend. He is the girlfriend. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe that the Bernie Mac show would have existed if it were to have been made or attempted to have been made in 2026. Not with all the LGBT and trans stuff that people want to try to push on the kids on the left, and with a culture that says that it's okay to be weak. It's okay for young men to be feminine and too in touch with their emotions. Now, don't misunderstand me. I believe that it's a wonderful, beautiful thing for men to be able to express their emotions. It's okay for men to cry. For God's sake, the Lord cried. The shortest verse in Scripture is that Jesus wept. So, if we're thinking about Christ, the incarnate, living God, and he wept, he showed emotion, it is perfectly fine. And I'm here to tell you, I can be a big crybaby. There's nothing wrong with crying over something that moves you. There's nothing wrong with a man being in touch with his emotions. But there are times that men need to be men. We do not need people pushing transgender ideologies or pushing weakness on young men. And obviously this is a comedy skit, but I believe it illustrates a bigger point here. He was making fun of the wussification of young men, and this was in the early 2000s, not in 2026, where things are much more pronounced and much more in your face. I don't believe that any good comedy would be allowed to truly exist unless it becomes somewhat countercultural. You can see what they've done in the past with comedian Dave Chappelle. I've done YouTube videos on that. Go check them out on my YouTube channel if you haven't watched those. But anything that pushes boundaries and pokes fun at problems in our society, I think those things are pushed to be silent. Because besides making you laugh, I think comedy, as I've said before, should make you think. Not to necessarily push an ideology, but to make you think about what's going on in culture. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with doing that in art. But in today's world, in today's Hollywood, I think what they want to push is a narrative that says it's okay for young men to be weak. It's okay for young men to be feminized. Why? Because that's what the elites want. If they have you believe that it's okay to be weak and feminine, then men will not stand up when it is time for us to stand up and do the hard work and to defend our culture from the vultures that want to destroy it, to defend our women and our children. That's part of being a man. And these elites don't want strong men, because if there are strong men that stand up and say, no, certain things are wrong and you're not going to do it, they can't push their agenda, see. So they want a weak and effeminate male population so that men are afraid to safeguard Western culture from what made us great. They want to cause as much confusion. It doesn't matter whether we're talking about economics or gender confusion. All the confusion, all the chaos is orchestrated. And so, even with comedy, anything that makes you laugh, anything that makes you question the way things are, they don't want that. They don't want free thinkers. They want people who accept the narrative and do not question the narrative that they want pushed forward. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about socialism or whether we're talking about gender confusion or the existence of God. They don't want you believing in any of that. They don't want you even questioning that. Because if you don't, then they can control the narrative and they can control the population. So no, I don't think that Bernie Mac would have existed in 2026. I am so grateful that God gave him the ability to bless this world with his comedy and make us laugh. And I thought that this clip was just something I wanted to highlight. Maybe go back and watch the Bernie Mac show, because it's great. But I wanted to highlight it because I don't think it would have existed in today's world, in today's so-called comedy. If you agree with me that we need more comedy like this, that pushes boundaries and speaks boldly whatever the comic thinks, do me a favor, like this video and share it so that more people see it. And subscribe to my channel for more content. I'll see you in the next video.